Okay, so I think about 100% of my reports have always been on the northern border between Canada and the US. But I don't think I've ever done a report that shows what's happening at the border between the United States and Mexico. So I'm going to go over that report today with you. I also have a report from Myrtle Beach, where they clearly still have their head in the sand. Not once in the report did they mention anything about international tourism. They blamed it on road construction and violence in their city. Yeah, go figure. And they're also complaining about how the lack of tourism is going to affect their budget. So we'll go over that one, and I'm sure you guys are going to facepalm a lot. I also have an article that was sent to us from one of our viewers, and it really shows how Europe's opinion on the United States pretty much took a turn overnight. The chart I'm going to show you later, it made me smile, so I really wanted to share it with everybody. So I'll show you that later in this video. Alright, let's get started with the two reports. One from the southern border of the United States, and the other from Myrtle Beach. And before I start, a quick shout out to Abby, who's been very helpful in sending over all of these different articles. And I don't think you realize how much time you actually save. So I really appreciate your support. Alright, let's get started.
And visa holders are thinking twice before crossing the border to shop and dine and stay in the valley. The owner of the Embassy Suites in McAllen tells us with recent immigration enforcement, business can fluctuate. Herschel Patel owns 10 hotels in the valley and has 15 years of experience in the hospitality industry. He says it comes down to whether or not Mexican tourists want to deal with inspections and strong immigration enforcement at the border.
Well, I gotta give him credit. At least he said the right reason. I would have to imagine that the vibe at the southern border is different than the northern one. Why? It's because they don't have the right skin color. And I'm not saying that to be racist either. And I'm also not insinuating that all Canadians have the right skin color as well. It's just reality that, yes, citizens of Mexico are an easier target than Canadians. But one other thing we have to consider as well is that Canadians can go into the US without a visa. For Mexican citizens, they need a visa. And it's a lot more work to go into the United States to be potentially targeted and profiled.
Patel says back in December, Mexican retail was down. Hidalgo County Judge Richard Cortez agrees.
They're not looking to overstay a visa or anything like that, but they also just don't want someone giving them a hard time or ruining their day over inspections and this and that. They just want to get in, do their shopping, get out, go home.
Obviously, they come here legally because they have visas, but many of them are says, golly, the atmosphere in the United States right now is not very good to immigrants. So we're really afraid to go there and maybe lose our visas for no reason or for a wrong reason.
No, I think you had it right the first time. For no reason. And let's not forget, your own US citizens are being detained for no reason.
Meanwhile, Patel says Mexican commerce makes up to 40% of his business. Patel adds he has seen this kind of pattern before and knows an uptick in business is in the works. He says Mexican commerce is vital to the Rio Grande Valley.
Man, this was almost a good report. Up until the point where the hotel owner said he saw this pattern before. Because you have never seen a pattern like this. Ever. There has never been a time, at least in my lifetime, where people do not want to go to the United States. This is not like COVID when the borders were locked. This is not like 9/11 when we couldn't fly in. Everything is open, but people are choosing not to go to your country. I really don't get it. Like, why do these business owners think that they've always been through this before? Do they not understand that this is completely new and something that the United States has never experienced before? I mean, is it ignorance, arrogance, exceptionalism? All of the above? I just don't understand it. But what I do understand is the United States, the businesses, the tourism, is going to be in for a lot of hurt this year. Now, speaking of ignorance, you guys are going to love this report from Myrtle Beach. Let's check it out.
Wasn't as busy last year? You weren't wrong. Tourism leaders releasing new numbers showing the city saw a drop in visitors in 2025. Our Catherine Schreiner has more on the data and how the city is working to bring those tourists back.
We're really hoping it's going to be good, especially considering 25 was down.
Carter Edwards is hopeful 2026 will be a better year for him and his employees at Mo Moons in the heart of Myrtle Beach. It comes after new data released by Visit Myrtle Beach and the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce shows tourism is down by 3%.
Actual experiences that the destination offers, whether that be a live music event or live music in general, world-class theaters like we have in Myrtle Beach, the beach itself, the culinary scene, these are the factors that help determine where people are going to travel.
Sure, maybe for your domestic tourism, but international tourists don't care about anything that you just listed out. At least this one talking right now. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree with me. Because it's not about the destination or the beaches or the shops or the theater or whatever else you just said. It's about the people. It's about the disrespect. And it's about the arrogance as well. Now you're going to love this next part because they go through their ideas on why tourism has gone down.
Reasons for the dip in numbers vary, from potential severe weather to negative social media posts about violence and economic struggles preventing travel. The organizations and the city will now work together to get folks back into the Grand Strand.
And it's going to take a collective effort. I think for us, we want to see that the community comes together, both the private and the public sector, to continue to improve our product.
Meanwhile, Edwards hopes the suspension of Myrtle Beach's controversial summer traffic plan, which blocked lanes on Ocean Boulevard for emergency responders, will also bring more customers through his store.
Oh yeah, you totally nailed it. That blocked lane is what's causing all of the tourists not to come to your shop. Well done on solving the tourism decline mystery. You can't tell I'm being sarcastic. But we're almost done this report, and have you guys noticed, they haven't once mentioned anything about the international tourists.
It'll be less confusion for people and just allow them to come down more and just, it'd be more like a normal road. Either block it entirely or just let them drive like normal.
City leaders are working on improvements along Ocean Boulevard, such as installing new lights and adding attractions, hoping to become more desirable to tourists. Police will also increase patrols in the area during the busy season.
Now, I've never been to Myrtle Beach. I mean, I thought about going there once for a golf trip, but nothing ever happened. But from what I can tell, there's a lot of red in that area, which doesn't surprise me about this report. Now, there is another article that relates to Myrtle Beach that I want to show you. This article titled, Myrtle Beach Sees Dip in 2025 Tourism Numbers, Chamber of Commerce says. It says the hotel occupancy was down by about 3.3%, the tourism development fee fell by about 4.4%, and citywide accommodation tax fell by 10.5%. The accommodation tax is the one I'm actually focused on, because that is a good indicator that international tourists were not going to Myrtle Beach. I wish it was higher than 10.5, but I'll take it. The article then goes on to blame the weather, inflation, gas prices, fewer households being able to travel, pretty much anything except for the international tourism. But they asked the short-term rental owner, someone doing Airbnb, and he said his business is down by about 30%. Now I know for a fact that many Canadians actually go to Myrtle Beach, because I have done previous reports which showed that many Canadians actually go RVing there. So it's not like international tourists don't go there. But what really disappoints me is that throughout this whole article, and even the previous report, there was not one mention of international tourists, not even an acknowledgement that foreigners do contribute to their economy. So in my opinion, and this is just me, that tells me that people in Myrtle Beach really don't care who the people are. All they care about is the money coming in. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me or if I'm totally off base. But also let me know if you used to visit Myrtle Beach. I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are about this. Now moving on to a happier note. Well, happier for us. Maybe not happy for those in the United States. The Guardian published an article titled, Opposition to the US is hardened in Western Europe after the Greenland threat. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article for you because my reading sucks and it is a very long article. But like always, the link to the article will be in the description below if you want to read it on your own. But what I really wanted to show you was this chart. This was a poll from various European countries after the Orange McNugget threatened to take over Greenland, because it shows that what happened in January really pissed off all the European nations. And I don't know how the US gets back from this. Just like Canada, we will never forget the 51st state rhetoric. But now, I think Europe will always have it in their mind that the Orange McNugget tried to take over one of their nations. I don't know about you guys, but this chart makes me so happy. And I'm glad our European allies are standing their ground. If you are viewing from Europe, let us know if this is accurate. Okay, that's all I got for today's video. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian perspective, help my channel out by hitting that like and subscribe button below. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next one.